Okay. This is actually a little bit before the Kitarak fight. I'm not quite all the way back over there yet, but all I gotta do is cross the bridge after I beat these dudes. And I want to make sure this is working in some semblance. Alright, it's on at least. Cool. Anyway, if something's broken, just yell at me. I really have no way of knowing until it's all uploaded and stuff. This is like the worst time possible to fight 3 archers and a freaking hobgoblin. My OBS was acting up really weird too. For some reason, I can't get display capture to work with the emulator, like with Project 64. It only lets me do either game capture, which for some reason, when I open the map, it like splits it in half. Like the bottom half loads faster than the top half. And I don't know what kind of programming would cause that to happen, but that's what it does. And it's just really weird. So I have to do a window capture, and so in like OBS it looks fine, but on my screen it's like it looks weird because I can see like part of my I can still see part of my monitor, so it's just kind of bizarre. Chatbot, that's what I'm missing. Yo, Sev, discovered your channel a while back. Hidden gem, hope you blow up soon. Dude, thanks. I really appreciate that you said that I remind you of Magellar, because I watched his, what was it? His Legend of Dragoon video, and it was hugely inspirational. And because I'd watched other retrospective type channels, and I was like, that'd be pretty cool. It seems like a lot of work. There's like a lot of moving parts here, and he just kind of, not to say that he's got like a minimalist style, but he just does enough, and it's like easy to follow, and he does a lot of thorough research, especially with his the Ultima videos. Those are freaking nuts. Locked. What kind of camera is it? What's up, Telemon? I don't know I can't remember. I ordered it like a year ago. It's I think it's called like a Sony A700X or something like that. It's got some kind of fancy name with a lot of letters and numbers and what have you. It's something like that though. And it's got like a capture card. Dude, he's a dead man. I should probably pay attention. Any games in the pipeline? Okay, so I'm working on one for Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance for the PlayStation 2, because I wanted to do some kind of game that had Dungeons and Dragons involved with it. But the whole reason I picked it was because I knew it was kind of short, and it had Driss Duerden as a hidden character, and I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to play as him. It only took me like 3 days to beat it, like all of it, like the normal mode, and to record all of the extreme stuff, all the gauntlet, and all that. But then I went on some side quests for like 2 months that kind of derailed my concentration. And so I don't know, it's been like 2 months since I beat it, and like I have like half of a script written for it, but I'm caught between, I'm like, do I finish this or do I just start another game? Because technically, like, the pace of my channel is so slow that, you know, no one's gonna be shocked if it takes until April for another one to come out. They're gonna be like, yeah, it's about right. Because I only did 3 videos last year. And yeah, I know this you, Cass. I remember Telemon from Wheel of Time. But I'll probably finish the Baldur's Gate video. I'll probably just do that because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. And Noah Caldwell, I haven't heard of them. Well, this was some real life side questing. But dude, I just brought a broadsword like 30 minutes ago. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, I'll probably finish the Baldur's Gate video. Just because I've already put so many hours into it and stuff, and there is actually stuff that I want to talk about. And then I'm sort of torn between doing like March of the Black Queen or Tactics Ogre, because I freaking loved Ogre Battle 64 so much that I would like to revisit that world again. So that's a possibility. You can't believe a game like this came out on 64. Yeah, I remember thinking like, oh, it's like the Morrowind of the 64. But obviously like an extremely simplified version of Morrowind. But I mean, they came out in the same year. Like, this came out the same year that Morrowind did. I think Morrowind came out in 2001. It might have been 2002. Also, I've changed up how I do the save files, so there's not another save state fiasco going on. I'm not taking this fight in the dead of night. I did make some changes. I managed to get the wizard's hat back. She's got a broadsword. I trained Rada in axes. It came out in 2002. Yeah, they were only a year apart. But this game was kind of... It had a rough development, and it was rushed. And you can really tell by, like, the second half. But it was the first game that I'd played where you could actually go through and manipulate everyone's statistics, and they just, with, like, no restrictions. And I like that, like, everything levels up. So, like, all their stats, all their little skills here, and they all do different things. And, like, your spells, just, like, all that stuff. It was, like, one of the most in-depth RPGs that I had ever played, which I hadn't played that many. I'd only played, like, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, stuff like that. Please don't get ambushed. Yeah, there really weren't that many RPGs on the 64. Technically, there was like Paper Mario, Ogre Battle 64, Quest, Hybrid Heaven, and this one. Which, if you look up like best RPGs on the Nintendo 64, this one's usually number 5. And they're like, fuck this fucking game, this piece of shit. I feel like I should fight this guy. I think I'm mostly interested in covering RPGs because they usually just have more stuff to talk about, like stories and things like that, but I don't think I'd be opposed to doing something different, like, okay, so I was thinking about doing one on Raw 2. I don't know if you've played a lot of wrestling games, but for Xbox they made Raw, and then they made Raw 2. And Raw 2 is probably my favorite wrestling game of all time, aside from like Here Comes the Pain. It had like a cool, it didn't really have a story mode. You like made your own story, and you could pick every, like for every match there was, you could take your character and choose what they were going to do. Like they could rest, they could like interfere in that match that was happening on the card. You could set a trap for somebody. You could like try to go on a date with one of the divas. You could try to like send another one of the superstars to attack someone else. I think they called it manipulation. And like all kinds of stuff could happen. So like if you were resting, you could get invaded. You could invade someone else that was trying to chill before a match. And you had stamina, so you had like 100. And the more stuff you did, the more tired that your character got. Probably have to reload here. Yeah, very smart, very good. And that's what I get for blabbing. And there was no voice acting. Oh, great. So, oh yeah, you could call people out, or you could try to call someone out. And the way it worked was, if it was like the SmackDown before WrestleMania, you could try to call out the champion. And if they came out there, then you would have that title fight with them. But to have a shot at the title, you had to build up your reputation, and you built it up by like winning matches and doing other stuff. And you could earn points and like build up your created wrestler. So it was kind of like an RPG. But it also had co-op. So I would play with my best friend, and we'd make our characters, and we would make them like friends, and then we would make a faction, and then sorry, I kind of got derailed for a second. Oh yeah. And then like we would RP like all of the cutscenes, because it would just show like your characters like pantomiming. And so when you'd go to call somebody out, you know, let's say it was like Kurt Angle, you'd go out there and the guy's like all yelling and stuff, and you'd be like, Kurt Angle, last week at SummerSlam, you came out here and you cheap-shotted me with that sledgehammer, you son of a bitch. I'll whoop your ass right here in this ring. You know, just whatever. And then the game like pauses for a second, and then sometimes their music would hit like right in the middle of your speech. It was so cool. So, oh yeah, and it was like horrifically buggy. Like to this day, there's still not a consensus of how to win the ladder match. Nobody knows. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably... RPGs take a long time to play anyways. Yeah, no one knows how to win the ladder matches. So, like, I would be hanging from the belt, and my buddy's, like, looking in the game booklet, and he's like, they say that you have to... Hold on. This guy's gonna beat my ass again. Like, okay, it says you have to, is he still? I can hear footsteps. You have to, like, tap the black button and then, like, rotate the stick counterclockwise, and then after, like, 10 seconds, you'll fall from the ladder. Or you'll fall from the belt, and you'll have it. But, Jesus, I would hang up there for, like, 10 freaking minutes until the bell sounded, and then the game would just decide who the champion was going to be. Like, it was absurd. And then, but you go to GameFAQs, and they're like, no, see, this guy on this forum, like, Rey Mysterio rocks 6969 for life, said that it's the white button, and you rotate it clockwise, you know, and that's how he got the belt down. It was absurd. Also, sometimes in championship matches... Okay, so for you had 3 minutes to beat your opponent and guarantee that you were going to get the belt. Because, for some reason, like, at 3 minutes, people can start interfering in the match. Okay? And their music will hit and they all start running down. Sometimes... even if you win, the game would just pick one of those people and just give them the belt. So, like, Shawn Michaels could interfere in your match, and he could do nothing. He could just stand outside the ring, and he would win. But and when they interfere, I think they had their finishers as well. So, like, their finisher was just completely charged up, and they would just come in and like, super kick you, and then, you know, flatline your energy, and but you could still win, and then for some reason he would have the belt. It was infuriating, but also kind of hilarious. And also, like, if it was a 1v1 and I was playing co-op, like, the guy that wasn't active in the match, it was his job to be the announcer. I played some Flash games, but I never played Adventure Quest. I'm trying to think. I mean, I played some, like, Newgrounds stuff that I probably shouldn't have been, but it was there. I'm trying to think. I mostly just played those weird little Flash games where you would, like, throw snowballs at each other, like the ones where they would, like, actually let you play at school. There was some weird Dragon Ball Z game that I'm having trouble remembering. It was like a fighting game of some kind. There was a lot of, like, stick figure games. They were just really bizarre. But I watched the Josh Drive Hayes video on Adventure Quest, and I was really jealous. I'm trying to get endurance on my boy over there, and it's not letting me. He's about to die. I don't know if her stupidity spell is high enough to render them useless or not. Your brothers had a PS1 and an N64. You used a Windows 98 laptop. Dude, XP was freaking awesome. I loved XP. The aesthetic was so good. Once World of Warcraft came out, gaming was kind of like a black hole for me. And our family computer was awful. It didn't have a graphics card, so I was using like integrated graphics to play WoW. Like I couldn't go to capital cities or anything like that because it sucked that bad. Like I didn't know that Teldrassil was a tree for like 3 years. This is seeming a lot more winnable. When you and Cody first started playing WoW, it was on an HP laptop with 2 gigabytes of RAM. I think my first computer had like 256. Yeah. I know what you mean, dude. My freaking... I was getting like 8-10 frames a second or something like that, and I thought it was great. I could get like 20 if I went into a cave. The original Sim Farm went hard. You played an old MMO that sucked you in called Astroflux? I've never heard of Astroflux. This is, I mean, I've played this game a lot, but I've never... Dude, they cannot hit anything. I've never finished the game with this party lineup all the way to the end. Somebody always ends up dying. Glad you're having a good time, Cass. Cass, I'm 35 now. Can you believe that? Did you think I'd make it to 35? Oh, thank you, dude. Declan, I'm like double streaming to Twitch, so that's why it seems like I'm talking to ghosts. Please don't die. Oh my god. Dude, this is harder than the Kitarak fight. My problem is they're putting poor Aileron over here out on a freaking island. All by himself, and he just gets like wailed on. They're also like super underleveled. So I kind of just ran out here in like an hour and a half. Which is good though, that's kind of what I wanted. Alright, there we go. Now we won't have to camp. See you, man. Thanks for stopping by. $30's not that bad, Cass. I've experienced 5 years of it. It's been fine, mostly. Okay. This is a much better situation. Yeah, Drew Carey was right. He was correct. They don't. Honestly, like I hit 27 and that's when it actually started feeling that way. Which is kind of cool. Hopefully this counts as a back attack. It did not. She's just gonna get destroyed. Hello, Memento Mori. Good to see you again. Sorry it's been so long. I was side questing for like a month and a half. Alright, everybody should be in range for the air shield. What have you been up to, Memento? Did you make another account, or did you, like, change your name? I noticed it says V2. Did it always say that? Oh, like Warhammer stuff? Cornhusker? That is true. Almost no one. Only people with very bizarre tastes and appetite for numerous bugs. Oh, your name is different on Twitch. Okay. Caster Labs? Yeah, I use it's called StreamerBot. Yeah. Yeah, the whole for some reason they always put Brenna and Beacon like way the fuck over on the other side of the map. And then the enemies are way over there. And I don't know. They're all just like super spread out. It's very bizarre. I don't know why these poisoners are so freaking jacked up. I've been doing this fight for literally almost 30 minutes. It's going very poorly. That's what we need. We need the sorceress one-handing a polearm for 33 damage. You'll get stronger. Yeah, I was trying to come through with like minimal training this time, because on my last playthrough I used that Godric exploit where you get all that gold at the beginning, and then I also had him make a ton of like dex and strength potions. So by the time I got to the by the time I got to the Kitarak Fight, I just had everyone hopped up on those, and Jesus, and we just like mowed through them. Boop. Hacks. Okay. See, like he's level 7, 6, 9. They should. I should still be able to do this though. I just keep freaking missing. I could try to sneak by and then just take a shot at Kitarak, but I kind of want their levels. I'm not sure if thrown weapons work better Like if they have a higher hit chance from behind or not. But this is part of the problem that I've been having. So he's already down like 30 hit points. Just right off the bat. I may have to level up. I could use more gold too from all these goblins around here. Because I'm going to have to... Actually, I don't know if I can get Fireball before I leave. Because you got to be like Wizard level 5 and it's not a scroll. It's like a spell you have to train. But I usually get Fireball before I leave. But I could just get it in Talawak. Dude, Fireball is freaking awesome. In the playthrough I did for the video, I mainly had Alaron as a wizard. Well, he could basically do everything. But I had his Fireball leveled up max, like max wizard. And if you get him, if you have him do it like during the daytime, he can hit like everything for 80. It's nuts. But you know, you can't have any party members around or he'll hit them too. Which is one of the reasons to go with Dragon Flame. Because it doesn't actually hit anybody. Well, I mean, it doesn't hit your party members. Why? You know, for someone with a lot of dexterity, Brenna sure doesn't get a lot of turns. I really wish more people had played this game. It is, at times, extremely frustrating. But I feel like it gets sort of knocked on more than it deserves. Like it's flat out, it's not as bad as people think it is. Or I mean, it doesn't deserve the reputation that it has. Really? You never heard of it? Well, I guess I wouldn't have ever heard of it in, you know, if I hadn't seen it in the game store down the street. I think, yeah, you're right about the end of the game, and it's kind of underwhelming because they really hype up what's her name? It's not Radagast, that's the wizard. What's her name? It's not Rabadon. That's an item from League of Legends. What is her name? It's not Rowena. That's the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower. Rabisat. That's her name. Rabisat. You think you're gonna have like this big showdown with Rabisat, and that doesn't happen. You fight like her top demon or something. This game has just programmed that I will be taking 30 damage at the start of this fight every single time. Yeah, sorry, Jared. I was kind of side questing for like 6 weeks and lost track of time. I meant to do these more regularly, like at least a few days every weekend. But just kind of got sidetracked the last couple of months. I'm gonna have to rethink this fight. Yeah, I think what I'll end up doing is the best thing that would work for my schedule is like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at night sometime. I meant to actually start earlier tonight, but my other events ran a little bit long. He just like warped through Aileron. I'm actually curious about how the Kitarak fight would go. I feel like the poisoners are stronger than the hobgoblins. I feel like they cause more problems. I don't know. Maybe I can level up in here. Surely there's somebody. Can he not see me? It's weird. I've actually never seen a Madular stream, but he is probably, I would say, my favorite YouTuber. It's been cool seeing like his progression from how sort of like disorderly his earlier videos were to how like super professional the Ultima ones are. Like that could be on TV, you know. All of the Ultima documentaries that he does are so freaking good, especially for how important those games are. And he's so good at like explaining that and conveying that, because you know I didn't realize that. Like I learned so much about Ultima just watching all those videos. Okay, they're just gods. You take my team into a tent and they're gods. They can't fight outside in the snow. Jesus. Yeah, and like he'll reference, like he'll get books, like he'll read books about these people and pull stuff from that. Like that's dedication. I'm just over here like I'll find an old forum post and I'm like, yeah, that seems true. You know, I'll just publish that. To be fair, I don't think people were writing books about Aidyn Chronicles, but if there was one, I would read it. Maybe I'll write it. Well, we got Brenna a level. I'm gonna give her the Warfang, and I can't remember how much strength it requires. But I would also like her to live longer. Damn, he's got 13k. That's interesting that stamina is less than endurance. Let's go warrior. I'm going to wait on Hafted because usually that levels up on its own. You got really into watching archived episodes of Computer Chronicles. I've never heard of that either. Do you watch those on YouTube? Yeah, the 90s were they were 0 to 10 for me. I was born in 1990, so that was a fun time. Let's see. Wonderful. I hear footsteps. Oh, it's just a wolf. I really don't want to mess with that. Alright, I'm gonna try this. Actually, I'm gonna try one more fight down here. Then try the hobgoblins. And then try Kitarak. Yeah, that would have been cool. I didn't have any brothers. I had a little sister. And pretty much my only source for games was the one little store that we had in town. And we didn't get a PC that was good enough to run games until like 2003. And we mainly just played like The Sims and stuff like that. I got into World of Warcraft, but it did not like World of Warcraft very much. And I didn't play a lot of RPGs on the Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo. We just had it was like a Donkey Kong household, and just Mario games. I did get a PlayStation and a Nintendo 64 eventually, but I mainly just played like Zelda, Banjo-Kazooie, Star Fox, stuff like that. I actually didn't beat Final Fantasy VII until like 1999 or something like that. Because when I first rented it and started playing it, I couldn't figure out how to get out of the freaking reactor before it blew up. Your first RPG was Fable and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. What a freaking introduction to RPGs you had. Fable was so freaking cool. And Knights of the Old Republic, that was another game that I didn't realize was using like a D&D system. Oh yeah, we had a lot of GoldenEye too. I never played Perfect Dark. We would just do a lot of dumb stuff on GoldenEye, like set up a bunch of mines in a hallway, and then it would like I think it would only let you set up so many, and then they would start disappearing. But we would try to see how many like proximity bombs we could set up and then explode, just to see what would happen. I'm debating on leveling up his wizard to 5 before I leave. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's not really gonna help during the Kitarak fight though. I'm gonna go with defense for the Kitarak fight. You'd play against bots in Perfect Dark and set up forts by using the laptop gun. Yeah. The dumb I do miss dumb fun. The dumb fun era from games for sure. Like most of my time in Halo and Halo 2, I think this was Halo 2. So we'd go to Blood Gulch and we would just get the warthogs and then ramp them into each other, and like whoever's warthog exploded first would lose. And like that's the game that we would play. This might not happen. I'll come back later. Or like in the campaign, you know, you would have the Scorpion, or they'd give you a Warthog. And I think you could do this best on like the Silent Cartographer. And they'd be like, okay, Chief, we're going to leave the Warthog here and we're going to go underground. We're going to go into this hallway. And we'd be like, nope, the Warthog is coming with us. So we would just go around and collect all these plasma grenades, and we would like throw them all on the back. This was Halo 1, so they were indestructible. And we would try to like blow the Warthog through the doors, and you know, you could get one through there with a turret and just have a really good time. Yeah, it was so much freaking fun, dude. It was also really funny, like landing a plasma grenade on one of the wheels and seeing it like spin around as like your friend's driving off and he thinks he's safe, and then all of a sudden it's like, I feel like this group of poisoners in particular have higher dodge for some reason. But yeah, that was a good time. We would like drive out into the ocean just to like see how far the edge of the map went. I think there was a certain spot out there where you could find, it may have not been on that level, but there was like there was something out there. There was like a flood on that level with like a shotgun just like way out there for no reason. It was something like that. All of these guys are freaking hard to hit. Yeah, I never played Earthbound. Never played Super Mario RPG. Wait, actually, I did play it. Or I had a friend who had it. But it's like I didn't get it, really. They didn't click with me, so I didn't understand. Like my video game brain was programmed to just like run and jump or like bounce up on top of something. I didn't understand like stat allocation or the idea that, okay, so like for Final Fantasy VII, you know, you can use lightning on the machines and it's extra damage. I couldn't comprehend that for some reason at that stage of my life. So like I had a lot of problems with Final Fantasy until I was like 9. This is such terrible luck. Sorry, my dog is snoring. I don't know if you can hear that. really loud. Okay. You had 5 older brothers? Oh my god. Yeah, I only had 1 sibling. I couldn't imagine the chaos of 5 siblings in one house. That must have been insane. You watched the original Aidyn video. One of the best worst games I've ever played. I've seen a lot of people say that it's either... I think someone left a comment exactly like that. They said it's either the best worst game they've played or the worst best game that they've played. I feel the same way whenever people ask me about it, or just whenever they start talking about RPGs for the 64 and I bring this one up. I'm like, it is one of my favorite games ever. But there is a but. There's a lot of buts. There are quite a few bugs. It's kind of only half finished. But if you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like walking a lot, then boy do I have a game for you. You broke a lot of furniture? Yeah, me and my best friend would do that. We were really into wrestling games. We broke like the fold-out couch and the swimming pool and my futon, the ceiling fan in my mom's room. we were trying to learn how to do suplexes. And I kicked the freaking lights out whenever he flipped me over. She was fucking pissed. Oh my god, she was so mad. Alright. The Kitarak fight is upon us. And we have a serious decision to make. I might go strength and just soup up Rita and Abrakan and Brenna and then just pray. Oh, I could do it twice. Okay. Alright. Your mom had a decorative goose. Dude. That's funny. It seems like your parents would, I don't know, there's like a wall of china, you know, or your grandma has like porcelain dolls just in the living room on a shelf. And they're like, do not break these or I'll freaking kill you. And it's like, I don't know. There's no way that I would have that like present day if I had kids. Like, there's no way. The hallucination scene in the cabin with the weird music and the goblin and chaos demon screaming kill is pure Twin Peaks / Persona. I've never watched Twin Peaks and I've never played Persona games. But there's like there's a channel. There's an Ogre Battle channel. Okay, let me think of how to say this. Someone that commented a lot on the Ogre Battle video has a channel, and it's dedicated to covering Twin Peaks and Ogre Battle, which is one of the oddest combinations I've seen, but they sort of make it work. It's very interesting. But I have like very scary memory of, like, I had a babysitter. I would stay there for the summer, and her neighbor, I was friends with her neighbor's kids, like really good friends. And so I would basically just hang out over there all day. And their mom had like these little like porcelain, they were like little porcelain children that were painted, and they were up on a shelf on the wall. And one day we were all running around, like running from the dog, and someone like slammed a door to hide, and they all fell off of the friggin' wall and just shattered on the ground. And I mean, there were like 20 of them. That was really scary. One of the scariest moments of my childhood, which, you know, I wasn't going to get in trouble, but, you know, I was like, this is the last time I'm going to see Logan ever again, probably. Your dad would yell about something being broken, and we would gaslight him by saying, Dad, that's been broken for months. Oh, your poor dad. He probably just didn't want to deal with it. He'd just be like, alright, I gotta go to work. I can't deal with this. Oh, that's funny, man. Okay. The moment of truth has arrived. After hours of misadventures and broken streams and failed save states, which happened in this very room, right over here by this treasure chest, we are going to fight Kitarak. Actually, okay. Human, you come before me. At last, the kingdom spawned you. Now the kingdom can bury you. I shall avenge my father. Here, now, with your death. That's what they all say. Hey, I probably don't have to tell you guys, but if you're on Twitch and you see that weird website that has a lot of strange characters that person just linked, don't click that. Let's go, Abrakan. There's only 7 of them. Okay. There is someone back there. Is that Kitarak? No. Kitarak is like literally right here. Okay. I think safety first. Air shield. Just so nobody gets sniped. But no, there was no gaslighting my grandma. She knew. We also sucked at lying, so it is what it is. We just had to deal with the consequences, which usually wasn't that bad. It was just a bunch of yelling. Okay, let's weakness. That's probably a good call. And the Spirit Shield Olympics have begun. Did the guys who make this go on to do literally anything else? No. This was it. They made some kind of Tetris game, and then they made this, and then that was it. I wish I had talked more or researched more about that company. for the video, but I think if you go to Sham Suck's channel, he's got some stuff about that company where they do interviews in their studio and talk about the game and stuff. But this game, like, it released at a weird time. It released like the same year the GameCube came out. I don't know if bringing Brenna over here to start wailing on Kitarak is a good idea. He might just turn around and whack her. But these guys did the new Tetris. I can't remember what it was called. They made some kind of Tetris game. Let me see really quick. That's gonna bother me. What is it called? The new Tetris. Wait, no. Okay. They did a game called Tetrisphere for the Nintendo 64. Which I might have to play looking at. Anyways, yeah, they did a game called Tetrisphere. So not the new Tetris. They did that other Tetris game. We're just gonna YOLO it with Brenna. And then we're gonna soup up Abrakan. Hope that Brenna doesn't get one shot. Damn, dude. Are we gonna do this? Oh, they did both? They did 2 Tetris games? Wow. They really liked Tetris. Okay, Kitarak is dead. The title of the stream is now justified. And now we must survive. I'm gonna give it to Rita. But yeah, I think they just did those 3 games. The lines you cleared would tally up and build the world wonders like Taj Mahal. One day, one of our older brothers gave us a cheat code. Game speed times 10. It would delete your save, so it was like a hardcore mode, kind of. Cheat codes used to be really funny. Like, the cheat would be like, give everyone big heads. And you're just like, oh my god, look. They have big hits. That's so funny. Simpler times. Yeah, I had an uncle delete my freaking Diddy Kong Racing save one time while I was at school, but I managed to redo all the races. It's not that long of a game. I think I did it in like an afternoon. See, I knew these hobgoblins were gonna be easier. Can you give potions to other people? Doesn't look like it. I don't know how good Lay on Hands is. You remember Spider-Man on PS1? You go to the cheat menu and type in a cuss word, and he would show up on screen and punch the text box. I had that game, but it was for the I had the 64 version. What's the absolute most disappointing game you've ever played? Not bad, but just like you paid full price for this and it's pure ass. Hmm. A game that I played full price for and it was just pure ass. Played a lot of bad games. Let's see. Can't say for yourself. We got one called Zoop. I've never heard of Zoop. Hmm. I'm really paranoid he's gonna die. Zoop on the SNES. I did play, or I tried to play the Lord of the Rings game on the Super Nintendo. It was very bizarre. But I'm trying to think like of a more recent game. I haven't really. I've been playing a lot of emulated stuff. Might have to look through my Steam library. Damn, dude. 14,000 experience. I would say that Wheel of Time game that I downloaded on GOG, but it was kind of funny and it was only $1, so it didn't really make me mad that I paid for it. Let's go Warrior since we've got the XP. And go Thief. I'll save up for Warrior on her. Probably give him a Wizard level. I'll save those. Give her another Thief. Dude, Gauntlet Dark Legacy was so good. That was another one of our go-tos, me and two of my friends. The same friend that played wrestling games with me. I actually played a couple levels of it a few weeks ago. Warfang is so freaking OP, dude. 15 spell battery. 55 base hit, plus 2 to Warrior. And it has a magic effect. So it can hit like Spirit Wolves and Raids and stuff like that. Freaking huge. Okay. There's a note from Rapisat over here. It's like a manifesto. Worst game I've ever paid full price for. I'm still thinking about that. I'm gonna go get a drink and I'll be right back. And then we'll do some walking, which is 95% of this game. Have a real good time. We ain't got shit else to do we, Lily? One of the things I think I love the most about Gauntlet Dark Legacy is the sound effects. It's like the sound design team was just instructed, like, take all of these and just subtle. We do not want subtlety. Throw it out the window. Everything is cranked, like like everything sounds like it's coming out of a blown out speaker that someone got from Walmart and like put in their Impala in like 2003. Red Warrior has gained a level. And like the super attacks were just so over the top. They were awesome. And I liked how every 10 levels you would like your armor would improve. Oh, maybe. I'm gonna take the back way out of here. Wait. I gotta give Brenna her stuff. Wait, I don't think I have warrior trained on her. I wonder if it will give her to... I forgot to give her warrior before I left town. It doesn't. So you do have to have at least one rank. It's kind of a bummer. So I guess for the time being, it would be better to give it to who should I give it to? I don't know if Alaron has high enough strength. Yeah, he does. And I'll give her Trehern's sword. And then I'll just swap later. And we should be good. Okay. But yeah, I usually played a wizard. And then my friend would play a red warrior. And then my other buddy would play the jester. Lily, hush. Stop. It's the people who live here. You can come back to this cave and get a really good helmet later. But you gotta do it after Shamsuck's tower, I believe. I might be lost. No, I'm not. Cool, man. Thanks for hanging out, Cass. Good night. A new Belore Delana. Yes. That's stuck in my head from making so many Blood Elf characters. And then the night elves are like, Ishnu Allah. The Sindori reign supreme. I'm gonna kill Kitarak and then just walk out here and die. When did she get the Warfang? What have I done? I thought I gave that to Aileron. Whatever. Wow. Good job. I do wish they had more boss type fights in this game than they do. Because like you beat Kitarak and that feels really cool. There's like some lore implications there because of the war with Kitarak's father, Grictical, which you can read about him from the walls in the king's room. And there's actually more tomes upstairs that I discovered today that actually talk about the rest of the story where Beacon comes through with the other soldiers. But like you beat Kitarak and then there's not really a boss. Like you go down to Talawak and you do all that and then you go to Port Said and there's fights, but there's not really a thing. There's not like a big bad, and then you go to the island and they're just sort of a bunch of enemies. You do fight the Marquis or whatever his name is, but you can just do like Wall of Bones. So there's really not another big fight until Shamsuck, unless you count the Lizard King. And then there's like Lugash. I feel like I'm missing somebody. I really need to get his health up. I'm curious how she does with the Warfang here. Solid. I wonder if the fights in the tents are like completely unaffected by weather. And that's why they do so much better indoors. This could be bad. Should be alright. We got 2 enemies. Should probably heal, but I'm not going to. Oh my god. Aggro. How the heck is that not close enough? That doesn't make any sense. They're literally inside the circle. Unless he's out of stamina. Whatever. Please don't die. She died. Way to go. I really just want to get out of these mountains before I call it. Where were they at? Like over here? Actually, yeah, I completely messed this up earlier. I want him to have Warfang right now, because he can actually benefit from having the increased warrior level. Okay, I thought that was swapping their weapons, but all it's doing is unequipping the weapon from that person. Okay, I see what's happening now. Okay, now we're good. I might actually go into the caves and teleport back to town, or back to Guernia, and give Brenna the warrior skill. Or I might do that after the stream's over. It's kind of a long walk. God bless the needlessly ambitious mad lads that made this. They were really onto something. Just the fact that they even had... Yeah, the fact that they even had the balls to try this on the 64 is extremely admirable. I'd really like to learn more about them. I don't really know that much about the studio. I've only seen like one video made about them. On it's actually on Shamsuck's channel. And it's just sort of like a behind the scenes type of thing. Probably gonna die here. But I'm glad they did it. I'm really freaking glad that they did it, because it's one of my favorite games ever. That would be cool. I wish I had looked up more about them. For some reason, it just didn't even cross my mind to talk about the studio. Or like, I know that the director actually runs D&D games that are set in the world of Aidyn Chronicles now. Like if you go to the subreddit, you can find him talking about him sometimes. Although that was like a year ago, so I don't know if they're still doing it, but I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't even know what D&D was when I started playing this game, actually. So like this was actually kind of like my introduction to that type of a system. Really need to stop screwing around here. This is actually harder than the Kitarak Fight. Uh, I can't reach the hobgoblin. That was devastating. But yeah, I know that they had really rocky development, apparently. I wish it had gone smoother for them. Or, you know, I see a lot of people say, like, they wish that it was made for the PlayStation or, like, the PC, but I don't know. The fact that they, like, crammed it into the Nintendo 64 kind of makes it what it is. Just sort of like a charming mess. Just because there were so many limitations that they had to deal with. Armorines was another 64 game I played with a lot with my brothers. Not a great game, but super nostalgic for it. Even as a kid, I remember being impressed with how Brenna's hood slides back slightly when she runs. I actually didn't notice that until my last playthrough, like last April. It is pretty cool. Fun little detail. It was cool that they gave them all like unique little running animations and attack animations and things like that. I really like Arturo's, because he like slowly pulls his sword up and then he's like conk. It's really funny. And the way he runs is kind of comical too. I think I was saving up for another wizard level for him. Because I really wanted to get Fireball before I left town. But I could just get it in Talawalk. Let's do this. This might be controversial, but there's a lot of traps out there. Damn, it's 37,000 experience to get to level 5 wizard. That's without a trainer, though. Let's just do this. She's eventually going to need higher strength for a better axe. Anyways. It doesn't really matter for him. Okay. Shit. Okay. She's almost dead. But no one has bows, so Rita should be fine. You're just gonna chill out over here. Sure, just go again. Just take as many turns as you need. My goodness. Oh, cool. That was a waste of time. And we're out here with 4 solar aspected characters in the middle of the night. This is probably a bad idea. Okay. We might be saved. The enemy AI is kind of weird too, because they should be doing something other than just standing over there. But they're literally just standing there menacingly. Like, what are they doing? They're just standing there. I guess, I don't know if they're trying to be strategic because they know I can't run behind them. I don't know if I want to give them that much credit. But I guess it's kind of smart. I don't know. I don't know. Rita's sitting this one out. I'm kind of glad their AI sucks though, because I would be dead. This is a horrible idea. Because eventually that one's going to wake up and he's just going to freaking conk Brenna with his axe. That's how I got her killed on the playthrough for the video. Oh, okay. Of course. Jesus Christ. Okay. That was needlessly intense. And I don't even think I have any healing. Oh my god, he had 1 hit point left. Okay. Hopefully we don't get ambushed. Marshmallows are canon in the world of Aidyn. Okay. I swear the Kitarak Fight has been the easiest thing about this entire excursion. There's been a lot of nonsense. One lone hobgoblin. Let's spawn everybody 6 turns away. long does a typical playthrough of this game take you? Yeah, freaking I think that was Hactical's run. It took a little over 3 hours. For me, I don't know, I'd say like 25. Something like that. Maybe less than that now that I actually know a lot more about it and know where to go and stuff. Let's see, I'll do an actual save and see what it says. So it says I've been playing for maybe longer than that. 5 hours and 19 minutes. Just to do Kitarak. That's actually longer than I thought I'd put into this. But I'd say about 25 hours. Cause like after Shamsuck's tower, it's pretty fast. You just run down to the desert. Do that weird little puzzle. Get the sword. And you just gotta come back and... Well, you gotta do the stuff with the dragon. But I'd still say it's only like 6 hours worth of stuff after Shamsuck. But I've watched Tacticals run a few times. He's got like a turbo controller that lets him go through dialogue really quick. But so like that saves him a lot of time. But that's where I learned about the stupidity spell. Like that's one of his tactics. He gets it, levels it up quick, and you can go through bats and like ogres and stuff like that pretty easily. It just ends the fight. I gotta level up this dude's health, man. Oh, it was like all stamina. Don't die. But yeah, I think he still has the world record. He knows like where every single enemy is and stuff like that too, so he sneaks by a lot. I can't remember what I was saving hers for. Shit. Wait. Is this the right way? Yeah. I hate that after battles. Sometimes you get turned around. But I'd say if that's just like a goal-oriented playthrough. If I was like running around the map trying to get all the extra items and stuff, I'd say it would probably take like 30 hours. Or if I'm trying to like max out all the characters, which is what I did in the last one. Casting endurance with her is kind of weird because it lowers her stamina, but then it gives her endurance. So like basically nothing happens because the health she gained was like almost is equal to the health that she lost. That's weird. I really need an alchemist. I've got a lot of extra like herbs, gemstones, spices that have nothing to do. Damn. I'm glad that he picked Abrican. Holy shit. They're just doing crazy numbers kind of out of nowhere. I guess the sun came out. Let's see. I've always wondered, yeah, it's like high noon. I've wondered if, you know, how the solar aspected people do best during the daytime. I've always wondered if they do the most damage when the sun is like highest in the sky, like right here, versus when it's like dusk, you know? Because sometimes that seems to be the case. I think there's a bear over here. I'm gonna try to camp and get her health back. Oh, cool. The goblins were stronger than I expected. I was wondering about that. They're better organized than I remember. Usually they rush and fight. Today they were more decisive. It's unusual for them. You think they're getting stronger? It seems they are. I should tell Toxamin when I return to the palace. They might be in the power of some spell. What kind of spell? I don't know. I'm not familiar with goblins. I've spent all my time studying charms and histories. What about the poison? Sevoran, how do you feel? The same. I hardly notice I'm ill. That's good. Still, I'll be glad to return to the palace and have Toxamin find this new healer. What about this wizard Kitarak? Does anyone know him? Yes, I've seen Kitarak from time to time. He's one of Master Bowden's friends, one of the 4 great wizards. I think Godric knows him as well. I've never seen this cutscene. I'm glad I decided to camp here. The 4 great wizards? In any field, there comes a time when a group of students join together and go far beyond anyone of their kind. They study, they research, and together they make discoveries that surpass even the work done by their teachers. Their school takes a great leap forward, and they lay down a new foundation for their craft. Their findings are followed by future generations for quite a long time. This happened about 20 years ago in Talawalk in the wizard school. There were 4 students, and they brought magic to a level never before imagined by any human. Did you know them, Rita? We both know one of them now. We know one of the great wizards. Which one? Who? Why, Bowden, of course. He was the most conservative of the 4. The second, Kitarak, the man Toxamin refers you to. The third of the wizards was Ardra, who now runs the council and oversees the school. And the 4th? No one would ever tell me. Maybe Kitarak can explain why. In any case, I'm glad this poison isn't affecting you too badly. Well, soon I'll see Toxamin. The cure is only a matter of time. That's dope. I've never seen that before. Actually, I think it's an ogre. It sounds like an ogre. I'm gonna have to camp more often now, after story events. That's too bad. I would have liked to include that in the video. Kitarak seems like an important guy. Hey, Ari. It's good to see you. Yeah, he is. Uh, he's like a namer. It's kind of interesting because there's a cutscene towards the end of the game where this main character's naming ceremony is interrupted, and there's a guy there that looks like Kredal, but I don't think it's actually him. Hello, Lord VX. They just have like the same weird haircut. But yeah, I didn't know so many cutscenes were tied to camping. I didn't really do a lot of camping in the playthrough where I recorded footage for the video. So it's cool to see it now, though. I'm trying to make it back to town without one of these poor people dying. Have you been working on any more comics, Ari? I haven't really been on Twitter much lately. That's usually where I see you post stuff like that. Or X, I suppose. I'm kind of in a weird spot with Abrican. I guess we'll go strength. She desperately needs more health. The next phase of this game has like Cyclops enemies that have thrown weapons, and they could crit and knock her out in like one hit. You've been working on something recently? Cool. I'll be happy to see it whenever it goes live. I haven't really been working on animations anymore. I actually stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV kind of accidentally because I was one of the people affected by Square Enix deciding not to, like, they wouldn't accept my Visa card anymore on Mog Station. I don't know why. And so instead they wanted you to like buy crystals or whatever they are, Krista. And yeah, so, and they wouldn't take like any of my cards, but they would let you buy Krista, and you had to buy, like, I was trying to work out the math, so you couldn't just buy like 1 month's worth. You had to buy 2 months. And I don't know, I was trying to figure out how to do that, because, you know, the Mog Station is so fun to navigate. I'm not done with the game, though. I'll definitely play it again. I'll definitely come back to it again. I love it too much. But yeah. Yeah, it's weird. You have to have like 3 accounts to have one character. It's just it's so bizarre. You were wanting to ask me about what, animations? Or about Final Fantasy? Because I'm so far behind on all of that. Oh, about Final Fantasy. Yeah, I'm definitely not. This guy's such a jerk. I don't even want to read his words. I'm definitely not done with the game. I haven't started it. I haven't started Dawn Trail at all. I just had no, for some reason I wasn't excited about it. I liked the trailer. It was cool, and it kind of makes me sad a little bit to see that it was, divisive. But yeah, well, we did play like a lot. It's just funny because I got all of my crafters and gatherers up to level 90 before, just because I got a couple of the master weapons or whatever they're called. But I didn't finish the story quests. So I didn't even get up to where you meet Wuklamot or Wuklamot. I'm not sure how you say her name. But I didn't really like the. I mean, I won't say I didn't like it, but after like the highs that Endwalker reached, to go from that to like the zero story, I don't know. It just sort of felt like a drop off, and it was hard for me to pay attention. I feel like if it's something I replayed, I would like it more. But I was just, I just had like the epicness of the end of Endwalker. That's kind of weird to say on my head. But I'll come back to it eventually. Another part of it is that, it was just like it's an MMO. So not that it doesn't take up as much time as other MMOs do, but I've got this new channel started, and it kind of takes up a decent amount of time. It actually, in ways, it's like less work than Blender and making animations, just because of just like the technical aspects of using 3D software. And then like everyone you make, you're trying to do like a little bit more. So you're just like always watching tutorials and like troubleshooting and trying to figure out all that. It's fun though. Did you ever get very deep into Blender? I remember you posting your character in like a chocobo suit, like jumping up and flapping her arms around. You said something like, someone should take Blender away from me. Um, how long? Well, my upload speed is decent. It's like I think I average around like 45 megabytes a second or something like that. So it did. I mean, it kind of takes a while. I think it took like an hour. An hour for Premiere. Shotcut took longer than that, I think. You didn't? Well, I mean, Blender's fun, but I definitely hit like that initial rush of learning. How do I say this? Just like it's all so new, so it's like super fun. It's frustrating, but it's all very new and very fun. And then, but that's like the noob area at the beginning where it's like you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And then eventually it's like I would start an animation and I would know, I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is going to this is going to take so long." Like, okay. So I I had an idea for an animation that I still want to do because I think it would be hilarious, but I made like all the characters for it, and the main character was going to be this little like Lalafell, and he's like a cowboy, and his name is going to be Thanalan Jack. And there was going to be like a race where him and a bunch of like other Lalafells, they like race on sheeps, and the race was called like the Thanalan Dust Rush, and it was organized by one of the evil Lalafells from Thanalan from the beginning of the game. I can't remember his name. He wore the green stuff and he had like a mustache. I had to recreate him in the game or through text tools as well. So I'd like had to do all this stuff to find like the variant of his hat. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I wrote like a script for it and everything, and I had to figure out, like, I had to go find the little sheep mount. It's not a sheep, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like a caracool, an albino caracool or whatever. And then like those have a rig, but they export from Godbert like really weirdly. So they export like really tiny, so you have to scale them up, but the skeleton, the rig doesn't scale right with them. So you have to fix that. And then like the textures don't export right, so you have to fix those. And I have like pages and pages of Google documents where like I found the solution for all these things to fix them. And then like the map for Thanalan, the is all screwed up. Like the ground is all screwed up, so you have to fix that. And then the lighting is weird, so you got to fix that. And then in the middle of all that, they like came out with a new Blender version, and then Meku had a new. He was going to come out with a new version of Mech Tools, and so I thought, I'll just wait on that. And eventually, I was just like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this. It'll just have to be a funny idea in my head. Yeah, still fun. Poking around in it is super fun, but once I started like the project for this channel, I knew I kind of had to just give it up, just because there's just not enough hours in the day, not for me anyways. Have you ever seen Lizard's animations? Hers are so good. I actually had no idea this teleporter was down here, and I really needed it. Yeah, you should. She's like a really big Grahatia fan. So he's basically in every single one of her animations, but they're really cute. And she's also really good at compositing and using like Premiere Pro. Yeah, they're awesome. And she does it a lot differently than I do, so like she's a lot better at green screening than me. So whereas like I usually import the entire background, or like the entire map out of Godbert, which is just like another extracting program like Text Tools. She just animates the characters and then puts a green screen up, and she records the background, and which is, I think, pretty genius because it's a lot faster to render that. Yeah. And her animations are really smooth too. It's just beautiful work. Have you ever played this game? Sorry, I'm kind of yapping. It's actually like midnight here, so I'm in full like rambling mode. I do need an alchemist, which I think I will give to Rita. And she needs warrior. But yeah, I was actually, if my payment information hadn't been denied by the executives at Square Enix, I probably would have played Dawn Trail because, nope, I don't. I'm off work tomorrow. It's actually a holiday. But, I mean, I probably would have played Dawn Trail because I was really excited about Viper. It just looked really cool. My dog is dreaming. Chasing something, I guess. You tried Viper? Can you access Viper if you don't have Dawn Trail? Well, I guess it starts at like level 90 or something. Yeah. She makes a lot of noise when she's asleep. Oh, you have it. Okay. Okay. That's cool. I'm kind of scared to get it. You know what I mean? Because I tend to fall in love with it whenever I actually have a subscription. Even if I'm just like standing around in town and talking to people. Or just trying to like run the market board. Yeah, I don't... Pictomancer, like it looks... It's kind of a wacky idea, but it looks cool. And I don't play very many casters. I just play my Dragoon. The old floor tank. I had like fanciful dreams of playing a paladin for a while. So I tried leveling one of those up for a while, but I never got to max level. I'm always kind of anxious about running a tank or a healer in dungeons for some reason. Which is silly because like most people are so nice. Yeah, I have the tank anxiety. I just don't know. I'm always scared I'm going to get like a trial. And I barely know the trials is like a damage dealer because I usually don't do that stuff. And I usually just do the extra goofy nonsense like mount collecting. I never really got into Gunbreaker. It does seem like it would fit more as a DPS thematically. Isn't there another class that uses guns that's a DPS? The Machinist. That's what I was thinking of. This is not the right direction. I'm supposed to talk to an old Mirari woman and get a magic stick. But I can't remember where she is. I thought this was their house. What have you been playing lately? If you've been playing anything at all? I think I've already tried this house. I know that this is where the cutscene happens. Or it's somewhere around here. But you have to trigger this to happen from another house. Oh my goodness. I might not make it. I didn't think that they were up here. Well, okay, this is it. I remember now. No, it's not. What in the frick? Where are these people? This looks familiar. All these ladders are the same. Did I just... Am I in the freaking Matrix? All of these houses are the same. I've never... Okay, this is it. No, it's not. I've never played Final Fantasy 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And I've never finished 6, but I've played some of it. I kind of just randomly wanted to do something on New Year's. So I just started a new playthrough just to have something to stream, I guess. And part of the reason was so I could run through with these particular party members, because if you finish the game with these people, they all have special dialogue at the end, and I've never taken them all the way to the end. So that was pretty much the whole reason. And then, so that was like January 1st. And then I went side questing for a month and a half and kind of forgot that I was doing this. And yesterday, I realized that it had been like 6 weeks, since I streamed. I was like, oh damn, I should probably try that again. And then a lot of stuff was like screwed up about the stream yesterday. I don't know if like something was wrong with my mic. I don't even know if it's fixed. I'll have to watch the replay of this. I hope it's not too bad because I've been live for like 2 hours. There was something wrong with OBS, and then like the game crashed at the end. So off stream, I had to like replay all the way up to that point from an old save. It was really bizarre. Plus, I had moved all my stuff into a different room in the house, and it was just kind of disorienting. And I had to like reposition all the stuff on my desk. First world problems. And yeah, it was there was a lot of distortion, and it happens sometimes, and I don't know why. I don't know what triggers it. So like I reconnected all the cables and sort of looked over everything, but it seems to be, I guess it's all right today. I lowered some of the equalizer. Oh, it's okay. It happens, especially if you don't, use this stuff for a while, get back into it, and it's kind of unfamiliar. But yeah, that was pretty much the only reason. I thought about playing Ogre Battle 64 as well, but it's been almost a year since I played through this, so I just thought, why not? Hopefully I'll have the Baldur's Gate video done by the end of this month sometime. Yeah, I just played through Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, like a full playthrough of all the modes, and I unlocked the secret character and all that stuff. And then I sort of took a break from script writing and started another Elden Ring playthrough with a great sword, super original. That's been a lot of fun. And what else? I was playing something else too. Oh yeah, I got sucked back into World of Warcraft for like 2 or 3 weeks before I came to my senses again. So I got that out of my system. I'm so lost. Yeah, some of my friends rolled characters on the fresh server. Okay, I think this is the house. For real, I think this is it. There was an expansion back in, I think it came out in like September or October maybe. I got that, and I was actually going to go super hard in it because that Pandaria remix came out. I don't know if you heard about that. It was like a game mode where you level super fast through Pandaland, and it was a really good way to level up characters. Oh my goodness. I've never been so lost in this game in my life. Anyway, what was I talking about? Pandaria? Okay, I leveled up every single class through the Pandaria game mode. the special edition. And you know, I was like, I'm going to do all this mount farming and all this stuff. I got all the rare mounts from that expansion. And then this new expansion came out. I just didn't feel it. I played through it, watched all the cutscenes, and it just wasn't for me. It just sort of passed me by. So I got to max level and then I just quit. But then they released another, like a fresh classic server, and I leveled on that for a while before I came to my senses again. Like, I don't have time to spend like 120 hours leveling to 60 and then raid for however long, and then probably play Burning Crusade whenever they release that, and do all this for, you know, a third time in my life. Baldur's Gate was a lot of fun though, but I finished it like 2 months ago, so it's kind of fading from my mind a little bit. I feel like there was another game in there somewhere that's slipping my mind. I think I'm gonna play Tactics Ogre next. I've dabbled in it a little bit. Yeah, part of the problem with vanilla for me is like the culture around parsing. And a lot of my real life friends that like to play the game, they're like super into that, so they're like really competitive, and I'm kind of lazy. I just want to like play on my hunter and sit in the back, shoot my bow, not have to worry about like third-party websites and stuff. Which, you know, I get that it's a competitive thing, and that's fine, but I just, like you said, I don't have the energy for it. But I think since I'm so freaking lost, in like 45 minutes of this has just been running around caves that look exactly the same, and it's like almost 1 a.m. It's like 12:30 here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. I appreciate you stopping by though. It was cool to talk to you. I really miss your videos and stuff, which I know how long that stuff takes to make, but they were actually like super inspirational to me to you know, decide to start making animations and things like that. I remember watching yours and you know, thinking I wish there was more stuff like this on YouTube for Final Fantasy, because there's so much for World of Warcraft. Yeah, they were really funny. They were really cute, funny videos. I really liked them. I wish more people were into doing stuff like that, but you know, it does take a long time. So I get it. But yeah, it was cool to see you. Yeah, have a good night. I'm going to try to click all the right buttons to turn this off here, because I've failed at doing that before. And